thing I like about Contender, we've looked at a lot of center consoles and we've talked about how the whole industry is evolving and bringing in more family. Contender has that. They've brought a lot of family stuff into their boats, but they've kept true to their roots. They still build a hardcore, battle-tested offshore machine.
I sure like the first thing I see, even deck. Easy to clean, nothing to trip on if you're running up chasing a big fish to the bow.
Well, you know, I agree, but you know what else I like? The fact that you can store everything underneath the deck. All those hatches, let's say they're gonna take this boat to the island, which you're absolutely taking this boat to the Bahamas. You take a ton of stuff, and it's laying on the deck if you have no place to store it. With all the storage you've got built in this boat, all their gear stored out of the way, they're not gonna trip on it, but if they need it, it's accessible like that.
You don't get how big and wide open this thing is until you step on it. There's an awful lot of room.
Plenty of room for several anglers to be up here. If you're fighting a fish and we're running him down, you can have a guy here for your gaff, you can have a guy here clearing tackle, big fish box we talked about. The bow of this boat actually has more room than the cockpit in the back. And
you've got a guy up here fighting a sailfish, you can have 6 lines out the back, okay? You can fight a double header up here. These guys never stop fishing. It gives big center consoles an advantage. They can do a better job of keeping live baits than any big sport fish boat I've ever been on.
Well, the fact that you have 3 of them, you have these 2 in the back and they're pressurized. And then you've got the one on the floor where you can store your bait. So we can go out and get a lot of bait to carry us through all day of a hard tournament, but we've got 3 separate places to keep them. So we can store them down here in the bottom, but the ones that we want readily available, we can put them up here. To bring all the life support into these live wells, they use a pump box, which is awesome. It's like a sea chest. They bring the water into the box, then they have 3 individual pumps with 3 individual sea cocks that control the water flow to these live wells. This is certainly a tournament package, and to round out the whole package, what Contender did, I love their double step bottom. That's where the ST comes in. It stands for a step bottom. This double step bottom is so much more efficient than a normal, conventional V-hull boat. It'll run faster, it'll burn less fuel, and the type of conditions this boat normally fishes in, a step makes all the difference in the world.
Because you have less wet surface. There's less drag between the water and the hull of your boat.
Well, as you're running, the boat's slipperier, it's faster, takes less fuel to push it. It's a good way to go for this type of boat. A hardcore, battle-tested offshore machine, and that's what this new boat is that we've brought here today. The one thing about this Contender 35 ST, it's got everything you need for hardcore fishing. It's got all the features you need to keep you comfortable, but doesn't have any of the fluff that you don't need.